Hello, welcome to week 3, round 3 of the Putt Stop Winter League. Today we're at Hualalai. Monty couldn't play earlier in the week this week, so him and I are going to go and play on Tuesday, but I'm coming out here solo to do a round because this is a course I think I want to take a couple cracks at. So tonight, just me solo, see if I can put up a good score, but not a lot of pressure because I know I'm coming back in a couple days to do it with Monty again. So should be fun, and we'll see how we go. I think I gotta shoot probably net under par here to try to keep it together and not get too far down the leaderboard. So see if I can.
Kick. Here we are. First tee at Hualalai. Move it over a fair bit left. Usually get 20 to 30 yards curve to the right. And a pretty straight hit. Fortunate not to get over in the rough. Leaves me 83 yards. Really important distance right now. 70 to 90 yards for me. Make sure I get it the right distance too. Yeah, see, carry 93. It's like a significant different shot when I'm 33 feet away. But 33 feet, 8 inches down. Try to just lag it in the circle. Hole second, hole 2. 240 yards is that marker. I should fall right of it most of the time. This time I close it around and fall a little left. Just enough to get onto the lava. Strange that those drives went straight to minorly drawing, but it's good that I'm trying to straighten my drives out. Anyways, it resets my ball. Settled in the lava, it automatically resets me over 78 yards from the pin. Again, familiar shot. 70, 80, 90 yards. These are real important. Try to get this in that circle for a guaranteed birthday. Don't do it. Leaves me 17 and a half feet. Try to get this in. And, it pops off the hole. Just so used to seeing it once it hits that hole go down that it seems like it disappears and pops out. But that rimmed off the side in slow motion. You can kind of see it there. Hole 3. 386 yards, not a long hole. If I can get this in a decent position, it'll really be close, but catch this bunker. I'm still pretty close. If I had cut that fairway, would have been real close, but see, I really kept that 9-iron low, dynamic loft 9.4 in that long rough. It eats you up, especially going uphill a little bit. Now I gotta get this gap wedge, 101 yards. Get that cleanly. There's a tailwind and good amount of spin on this shot. Stop it in that circle to save a par. That feels good after the duffed 9-iron for sure. Hole 4, par 5. Not one of the harder holes. Should be able to just fade this into a pretty big fairway. Hopefully I don't pull it left or straight. And that's just open enough. Fade it back in there. Should be in okay shape for my second. Yeah, it's going to hold the fairway. So now this green's actually shared, so the green view doesn't really help much by default. So trying to get a feel for where I'm coming into the green. It looks, everything's sloping from the right to the left up there at the green. But I got 206 yards with my 4 hybrid and just lose it right and fade it right and catch the cart path. And in the bunker on the sort of adjoining hole, luckily not over in anywhere out of bounds. 50 yard, 60 degree shot. Really important to get these distances right, but just happy to get this holding the green out of the bunker. Yeah, lands a little bit on that front. If I carried it a few more yards, I might have got a bit better bounce and roll, but still it's a short shot. 32 feet short on 50 yards. It's not ideal. Almost 33 feet short, but try to lag that up to the circle. hopefully don't roll through. And move over to the 5th hole. Water on the right. Really scary shot here. That pins out, kind of suckering you to attempt that water on. You see where I'm aiming. 168 yards with my 6-iron at that aim point, and this actually is like right on it. Carries 168, a little bit of spin. Now putting off of the fringe back across the green. You know, this is a little downhill, but at least I know I'm going to keep this on the green. 18 yards back. It's a long lag putt to figure out. Can easily put it through or off that back edge, but managed to save a par again. Hole 6, par 4. You see the kind of lava up the sides. Got this pulled into the sand trap on the left there. It's uphill quite a bit, so you're not going to have a ton of distance on this hole. Just something about that knowledge changed my swing, gave me a nice little low 7 dynamic loft there. 7.6. Anyways, this green runs away down into 2 deep sort of runoff areas behind it. One big one kind of with a thing in the middle, but anyways, you don't want to be long, so got a 9-iron, a bit of a headwind, and this I'm just thinking get it higher. My last 9-iron went like 9 degrees off the ground, so this I get 28.8 just off that front knobby to not catch into the bunker, and some nice release down the green. Fortunately not too much release. Kind of fortunate with that shot. Now a 31-foot putt, just up 2 inches, so pretty flat over the distance here. Fair bit from right to left. Hopefully holds a circle there, and yeah, maybe a little less power. Might have taken the break a bit more, but hole 7, par 5, sitting in a pretty good spot, -2 for my net, even on my gross round. Pull this aim point way to the left and try to just release fully and know it's going to fire. Kind of overswing it and almost miss the ball. I see that low point of contact. Didn't get down enough to really get the ball cleanly. But par 5 turns into a 3-shot hole. Hopefully this 5-wood can get over the lava here, the cooled lava, whatever, magma, and managed to pop over into the fairway. Now 118, pitch and wedge, slight tailwind. As long as I don't nuke my pitching wedge, it should be in a reasonable territory. But guess what? I nuke it. I do a pull nuke, goes a little long, a little left. It happens. 60 degree, there's a nice knob there. That's really going to make this shot fun. If I land too short, it's just going to bounce me straight left. If I go too long, then off the front. So really delicate landing area here. I do catch that a little shorter than I had hoped. Still almost managed to roll into the circle, but another foot, it would have bounced the right direction and rolled right to the pin, right to the hole. 9.2 feet. Just not even close. Whatever. Still sitting plus 1 gross, which is not too bad. All right. 202-yard par 3, 5-iron, tailwind, and it's down 29 feet. So it'll get there. I just pull it. Doesn't get the fade release. It gets the kind of square pull, and leaves me a bit of an awkward spot. 33 yards, 60 degree. This is a tough distance to get that loft right, get the spin right, so it'll actually get the right distance. And see there, leave it short. 26.2 foot putt. Not gonna do it. Not gonna hold the hole. Not gonna hold the circle either. Now this is pretty important. Trying to stem the pain here, and that one really felt in. Holy moly, that one slow motion center of the cup does disappear and bounces up. Now, interesting note, I actually kind of appealed this, sent this to the owner to show what bounce it was, and trackman gave me that putt back. So, kudos to trackman. Hole 9, par 4, hardest hole in the course as far as handicaps go. The wind's going to push me out to the right. Got this lined up to the left. And, I pull that, close that face with that sort of over-the-top-ish club path that should pull way left, but I guess just enough wind and just the right point on the face to not get the spin in the wrong way. And somehow I still faded it. Found the fairway, 152, 154 with an 8-iron. Pretty full 8-iron for me. It's, 158 is about my max 8-iron. Look at that, zeroed out. Sweet spot. Yeah. It's a good shot. It winds up a bit long when you do it total flush, but hey, you can't complain. No. 19.4 feet out, 5 inches down. See, there's a lot of weird variation in these beads, so this green's kind of squiggly, squaggly, and it looks like it's going to dive in the hole. It says, nope, left to right, I'm not going in. Hole 10, par 5, coming around to the back 9, pretty good, sitting at +3 after the front 9, but netting out to even with my 5 strokes that I get on the course here, so that's helpful. This drive again, it's probably just low, 8.3 degrees. Everything else looking pretty good, just not the loft I needed with that shot. So I'll go down to a 6-iron. No point in trying to get a 5-wood over that lip, just 6-iron out to the perfect spot if I can. Again, almost zero out my 6-iron, so you can tell I feel good, I'm swinging good. Leaves me 105 yards. It's a gap wedge, slight tailwind. Pretty stock gap wedge. Sometimes I can send it farther than that, but generally my stock gap wedge will get about, between 100 and 105 yards. 17 feet, slightly uphill. There's not much movement here. Would be good to have a birdie on one of these par 5s, but not this one. You know what? I'll just put it right through the circle. Those hurt. 8.7 feet. Yes, that's a birdoggy. It's a bird doggy. Hole 11, par 4. Now I'm at +1 for the tournament, +4 for my gross score. It's a tough hole, but it does line up for my movement pretty well. I can generally put it up straight up at this trap and fade it off. Just not today. Squaring it up. Hard to complain when you're squaring it up, but makes these shots a little trickier now. 4 hybrid, 165 out of the sand. Maybe risked hitting into that lip a little, but got to take the risk out of there. Great shot to get it down the center of the green. High contact on that face. I just wanted to pop it up more than I wanted to, top it down into the face of the bunker. So that's why it's so high. Anyways, 21.4 feet. Trying to see if we curl this one down. We don't, but that's going to stay in the circle for a par. So, hole 12, par 3, easiest hole in the course, but it's an interesting hole with that trap right in the center of the green. It's going to be a 9-iron, 138 yards, but it's down 15 feet. If I just get the loft right on this 9-iron, it should sit somewhere decently on the green there. Full swing, proper 9-iron loft, and do a pretty good job. A little bit of a tail that takes it to the right, but happy there. 26.6 feet, pretty much below the hole. Trying to drain this for an unlikely birdie, but you never know. You keep putting them up by that circle. Eventually, a couple are going to drop. Not this one. You see me peek back there, it's to see the squareness, so I know my green reading was off, not the squareness of my putt. It's an interesting tidbit for the trackman. Anyways, 13th hole, pretty strong wind off the left side there. It just died down as I was hitting, but it pops back up 4.5 kilometers. Just enough probably to keep me off the lava and inbounds. Really squared the drives up on this round, which is good. Going to be needed to play the next course, Dare Manor, but unusual for me. So, anyways, 126, 9-iron. out of the rough, so really need to get a hold of it to get it there. And yeah, managed to still carry 114 with the rough penalty, which is pretty good. Give me a nice look at birdie putt here, keeping the circle for par, 16.7 feet, and just not quite high enough, but good. I like that pace, just not quite the right read. That was a little push to the right, according to the putter down there. You can see the ball. Anyways, 14th, par 5. Time for a bird on one of these par 5s eventually, I hope. 469 yards. Winds in my face. Square this up again pretty good, but just enough to have some tail to the right. And just that bit of tail with, yeah, to get you always into that little green, like, berm there. So, hit and hope with a 5 wood, but I really, can't avoid those mishits. Those low hits, pretty bad. Doesn't get the ball up out of the grass, and he just dies. If it was in the fairway, that would have went still 150 yards, but the rough, it's not good. Anyways, try again. Pop it up and over there. The, fade sort of took me to the right there, but it was plenty deep enough. Now I'm pretty short-sighted. Got to get it down and again rolling to the left, so it's going to be a high, hopefully soft landing shot. Pretty difficult spot here. Take that a little deeper than I had hoped, but hopefully, luckily it had some spin, so it didn't get too far away from me. Now 12.5 feet. Gonna back up the hill just a little bit. Just not doing well on the par 5s, holy moly. But hole 15, par 4, not particularly difficult hole. I am still sitting at only +1 for the tournament. Pretty good crack here. It's just open enough to fade where I need it and really get that proper fairway run out for a change. Doesn't quite get 300, but that's one of my better drives now. Important range, 78 yards, 56 degrees, should be prime. Prime go time for that circle, that 8-foot circle around the hole, and just a little bull short, not the best, but easy spot for a putt, a 2-putt hopefully, 30 feet. Usually at this point in the round, my speed's pretty good. Sometimes I do get off, but usually my speed later in the round stays pretty good, so save that par. And hole 16, par 4. This again suits my shape, and the wind's pushing my shape to the right, so very little chance that I could possibly get this straight. So just let it rip and let it tail. The real question is, does it tail into the far rough or into the fairway? And looks like this one just curls enough to get in the fairway, which is good. 118. This is gonna have a slight tailwind, but I do have to carry it really all the way there with those bunkers. So going pitching wedge. Don't want to try to run a gap up a bit. Just need that to fly in the air and then hopefully stop or pull back. But we'll see how the flight goes. 116 and dies to the right. Yeah, that's what I needed. 12.9 feet. This should just barely touch the screen, really. How the speed goes on these putts. And didn't read it. Felt like a real good speed putt. And this one does feel just a fraction harder and just miss high by a fraction hard. So I don't know, maybe that would have went in too, but who knows when it doesn't track. 158, down 7 feet, tailwind, 7-iron. I could smoke this 7-iron well past the green, but just trying to get a solid 7-iron with the right loft. So there we go. It doesn't die. It doesn't roll out too much. Just dies after that carry. And then 21 feet, little breaker to the left. And look at that one, catches the hole. That's a bird right there. Brings me up to the par 4 18th. Man, unlikely bird on 17. Has me sitting -1. Always try to take as much of this corner as I can. It's generally always too much, but on trackman, kind of you want to swing away and try to get up there. Anything in that mid-distance bunker, rough, fairway, whatever, it's not that different to play as long as you know your numbers. 61 yards, 56 degrees. Could end it right here. This could be the last swing of the tournament for the week if I get this right. It's up. Is it going to stop? It's not. So that 56 degree was the rate. I got it the right carry, but didn't get it quite high enough to stop in time. 60 would have been needed, but 60 also could have been left in the bunkers. So, it's hard to say. 21-foot putt. See if this will not find the bottom. So, finish 18 with a par, and it nets me out at 71. But it does remind you that Trackman gave me that putt back on 8.
All right, well, that's that. I netted out at -1. Played really well, but also a few just real chunky shots at the wrong time, and a couple putts just dumbly left too long out of the circle, got too focused on making them, and 2 putts bounced, went in the hole and bounced out of the hole. Did not lip out, went in and out, popped and was out off the bottom of the hole. 4 easy strokes lost. Would have put me at -5. Looking forward to playing this with Monty on Tuesday. Have a pretty good score posted so I can confidently come in and just try to cruise at par and let my handicap do the work for me, and hopefully come in with a bit of a better net score. But even -1, I'm pretty happy. Birdie on 17 really helped, so yeah. Alright, so I just finished my second round. Played the second round with Monty, who shot amazing. He shot -4 net. Second round didn't go so well for me. Started off real bad and did a 45 front 9. Just gross front 9. And then did a 35 back 9. Played the back 9 1 under par gross. But wasn't enough to make up for it. Finished with an 80. Needed a much better start to do better than my previous -2 score. But nonetheless, pretty good fun, pretty good play. I really need to get my 56 degree wedge, the yardage from 90 to 80 to 70 to 60, a lot more consistent, and that will significantly help lower my scores. Missed a couple of putts that were just through the circle again, too close, forget about the distance control and put it through the circle, which is not ideal to be dropping shots that way. But everything else felt pretty good. Going to be some mishits, going to be some misfires every now and then, but yeah, consistently I need to go and do some practice my 56 degree to really hone in those yardages down from 90, 80, 70, 60. And then I want to do some practice with my 60 degree on the longer shots, and particularly the yardages that my stance width can dictate. If I crank my 60 feeling like a real full shot, I can get that out 60 yards. I need to consistently feel that 60, full swing feeling, but at different stance widths to bring that down to 50 yards, 40 yards, 45 yards. Those sorts of shots are real big money makers, real big score makers. You get those dropping in that 8-foot circle, it really helps. You get those 90 yarders dropping that 8-foot circle, it really helps. I think the biggest tweak I need to make is in my grip, actually. Everything's feeling good, my swings are feeling good, contact feels good, and the ball's going a lot further right than I might expect it to, considering how I feel and how my release feels. So I think it's literally just a matter of a subtle change in my grip, making sure that as I'm closing and feeling that natural release of the ball, my club head's squaring up a little bit more. I'm getting a little bit too open club. My swing path's pretty consistently a degree or two over the top, a degree or two from out to in, which is manageable. I need that club face to be more square. If that club face is sitting at 3 or 4 degrees open, I'm getting to 6 degrees open. I'm getting a lot more left to right movement on the ball than I really want to have. And I think the big change there is just a grip change, and that'll get a little more consistent. So interested and excited to go get some practice in with those things in mind. And then next week is Adair Manor. Going to be a little tougher course, I think. Right now I'm sitting 12th on this week's round. Some really good scores out there. My -2's got me not even inside the top 10. So some really good scores. I would have loved to go and put up a -4, but I'll take those strokes that I save on my handicap and hopefully apply them to a good score at Adair next week.